Hello and welcome to Conversations with Rupi. Like in the previous conversations we've had, this is just a conversation taking place between two people who have become friends, and the energy has matched. And I literally admire this lady for who she is. We've not met each other physically, but I've known her for about 7, 8 months now through social media, and I've followed her, posts and come to know a little bit about her journey. So she's a mum of two girls, aged 12 and 2. She's been married for 22 years nearly, and started exercising initially to lose weight in 2000, but loved the way it made her feel, so she just carried on spreading the word. And then, because she suffered from depression after her firstborn, like many women do, exercise became her savior. And then I think she went on to train and become a fully trained, personal trainer. She has been diagnosed with infertility due to early menopause, had trouble conceiving her second daughter, and took the help of IVF and got that little angel in her life today. Again, she says that savior, in the form of exercise, was what saved her from depression and falling into a dark place. And her videos are encouraging, her videos are literally energizing, and she shares literally so much information through her social media that it is unbelievable that she is giving away all of this sometimes for free. It is giving me extreme pleasure to introduce Manjeet from Fitspiration Fitter. Welcome, Manjeet.
Hi, Ruby.
So pleased to have you on this.
Thank you.
It's been a special journey watching you through your social media, and in the 7, 8 months I've connected with you, and it's a joy to watch your videos, not just the exercise ones, but whatever you post, and especially your youngest, little girl you have. She is literally like a sunshine, and spreads so much joy through her videos, which you capture. How has it been, as the journey as a mum, and how have you managed through the lockdown having a full house?
Oh gosh, it was difficult to start with the lockdown because we're not used to being in each other's space.
Yes.
We all got our own little routines. One of us goes off to work at 8:30 in the morning, the other one goes off to school at the same time, and then it's just Amber and I, and we had our own little routine.
Yeah.
I would exercise, she joins in, we go to her little activities, we do the school run in the evening, and now all of a sudden there's like 4 of us in this space and we're literally stepping on each other. And first few weeks, I would say it was difficult.
Yeah.
But it's really lovely now. We've connected as a family. We found each other's, we found space around each other. I've learned how to work together, and it's been really nice. And it's been the best time for Amber because she's got all of us now.
Absolutely. And when you're exercising, I literally see her joining with her toys and trying to exercise and emulate what you're doing. And it's absolutely lovely to watch a young one, and it's so true that kids literally follow what they watch, not what we say. And so whatever we are teaching them physically is what they literally pick up on. And it's sometimes so wonderful to see her in the background sometimes trying to do exactly what you're doing and copy.
And she's so good at it as well. Soon as I come downstairs and I've got my kit on, my exercise, she's like, "Mummy exercising, I exercise with you."
Oh.
So I just let her get on with it.
Yeah.
When I first started exercising, after my first, it was a different space and a different place I was at. So if Gia got in the way, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's getting in my time. I only do this for half an hour. She's in my space." But obviously, I've evolved since then. Now it's joining. They're both joining.
Yeah.
Gia's a little bit older, so you can imagine she doesn't really like to be in my videos.
Yeah. Older kids get social media shy, especially for their parents' videos.
So she kind of will move away, but she's there in the background as well, and she gets involved. And it's encouraging to see them get involved.
Yes, absolutely, because you know what, we need to be making sure that our generation, the younger generation, is not just fit physically, but you know, holistically, they have got the physical, the mind, and you know, soul aspect of it looked after.
Yeah, and they look at exercise in a positive way, because there's so much on social media now about exercise just being about body image.
Yes,
and it's not. And we know I've got, you know, with me having a 12-year-old, it's so difficult for them anyway at this age, trying to fit in or being the ideal person. And I don't want the girls to see exercise as just being a physical aesthetic thing. I want them to know it's about health as well.
Yes, and it also not just nourishes your health, it also nourishes your soul, you know, because it literally is touching every aspect of your body, you know, and on a spiritual level as well. So even though I gave a little bit of intro in the introduction, you know, how you started your journey on becoming fit and, you know, now doing this as a regular business, let's talk about how, from your words, how did you first start exercising?
So in 2008, so I had Gia in 2007.
Yeah.
And I went, after having her, I had a quite traumatic birth, etc. And I came out the other side thinking, what has just happened to me? You know, all these things that you're fed about, this lovely birth experience, etc., etc. It didn't happen for me. So I came out the other side really depressed and not the way I wanted to be, lost a lot of confidence in myself. A lot. I'm not just talking body confidence, but like mind. I didn't like who I was, how I looked, anything. So I went on a kind of bit of a downward spiral, and I just let it continue. And I probably would have let it continue had it not been for a comment, quite an insensitive comment by a lady that I didn't know, who was just sitting next to me in a weight clinic. I went to get Gia weighed, and she asked me when my baby was due, even though I had a baby in my lap. And I was confused, and I said, this is my baby, she's 8 months old. Oh, she said, your stomach hasn't gone down then. Oh, I'm so lucky mine went down straight away. Honestly, I was so upset. I really held back the tears. I was already in such a down place. She wasn't to know, but I was in such a down place that I walked home and I just cried the whole way. And that was the day it just clicked. So I had to do something for me. And I didn't know where to start. I hadn't done anything like this before. You know, probably the last time I'd probably exercised was when I was at school, like PE. So it was, what do I do? Where do I start? And we went out and bought a Wii Fit. Do you remember them? The white. I still got it actually. We pulled it out.
We got it as well.
And I just started using the walking. There was like a little game on there, like where you just walk in the park, but from your home. And that's how I started. That was my form of exercise. And then I bought, it started making me feel good. So then I bought, so it was like pedals, but not an exercise bike. It was just the pedals that you put under your feet. So I used to come home from work and just be on the pedals for like 30 minutes while I was watching, I think it was Home and Away or Neighbours that used to be on. And it was little things like that started to make a difference.
Yeah.
And then I've realised how good it started making me feel. Then I started using DVDs, programs, and it just went on from there. And then it became a habit, a good habit.
Yeah.
And it just kind of evolved from there. And I just loved the way it made me feel.
Yeah.
And that was back in 2008.
And you haven't looked back since then?
I haven't looked back since.
I've seen some of your recent shares on social media, on your Instagram handle, you know, the size you were, and, you know, and you've been very open and vulnerable on that aspect, that you've shared, you know, that aspect, that the before pictures and the after pictures, and what it has taken you and how it has transformed you. And I think you're one of the few accounts which I've got into my favorites, which no matter what time of the day it is, you know, there are sometimes I've had a busy day, so I've not been on social media, but even if it is the 20 minutes, you're one of the first few accounts which I've got, which I will make sure a point that, you know what, I go and at least read your posts. and they are truly informative. They're very informative, and they also talk, so you haven't shied away from talking about the traumatic experiences, you know, in your life, whether be it, you know, before the birth of Amber, or be it, you know, after Gia was born, the depression, how it made you feel, and how, you know, nobody was there when you needed it. So it's refreshing, because you know what, there's only one other lady, you know, and I think you know who I'm talking about, Jessie, you know, who is very open about her journey in that aspect. You know, I've come across very few accounts which have been so vulnerable and open about, you know, where they were with their health and weight, and how they have been battling certain health aspects because of the weight aspect. And you made it very, you know, good point that it's not just about body image, because you know what, the culture, especially in this, you know, the Western world, is that you need to only be exercising to get a summer body, and then in winter you go back to wearing frumpy clothes, and then you know what, you start back again towards the spring to work towards a beach body. So it's been like that, and that aspect I've never understood, you know, that okay, why do you need to only work on your body to get a summer body?
That's right.
Body.
Yeah. You know. And if you do something you enjoy, and it's a habit, and it becomes a daily routine, it's sustainable. You don't have to just have certain times of the year where you exercise like a crazy person to get to feel good about yourself, so you can get on a plane and go on holiday. If you're doing something all year round, you're feeling good all year round, not just in your body, but in your mind, you know. The only times I have stopped exercising is when I was going through my IVF cycles. And then the cycles that didn't work, I went straight back, after allowing the medication to wear off, back into it, and becoming stronger to then go on to the next IVF cycle. And again, those periods of when I went back into exercising made me stronger to then go back into the next IVF cycle, because after the first cycle, I was adamant I would never have enough, I would never try again. You know, funnily enough, I will be posting, I have done a series of posts about my IVF journey, which I'll be posting.
Wonderful. I cannot wait to read those.
Just touching on that now, but yeah, so it was, again, exercise made me stronger to cope with those.
And it's you know, lovely, because the message you're posting through your videos, through your stories, you know, and through your posts as well, is that it is something which we need to sustain year through, not just, you know, when we want to get a beach body, or when we want to look good for certain purposes, whether it's a wedding coming up, or when we want to fit into that little black dress or the red dress. You know, it's not one of those. And in my life, you know, I've been, in that aspect, I've been very blessed up to a certain point in my life, where my hormones, you know, were completely in control, and I would burn off. So my metabolic rate was completely, you know, blessed in that aspect, that whatever I ate with very little exercise, I could manage, you know, a perfectly healthy body. But now is not the case. It's the complete opposite.
And I'm there with you on that one. I do find that my nutrition and my exercise has to fit. I don't restrict anything. I don't restrict any food. You know, a lot of people, I get a lot of comments, oh, you're all right though, you exercise. You can eat what you like, you exercise. It's not like that. You have to build a sustainable lifestyle. Eat what you fancy, when you fancy it, eat when you're hungry. Don't limit anything, don't restrict anything, just don't have too much of it. That's the same with exercise. Don't do too much of it. Even too much exercise is not good for you.
It's not good.
Everything is about balance. But yeah, I share quite a lot, because I've been told not to. Well, that is how we were brought up. We're brought up culturally. Don't tell this person that. Don't tell this person that. Keep everything to yourself. If you're upset, don't tell, because you might upset this person. And for so many years growing up, you just stay quiet. And then social media came, and initially there was nobody on there that I knew, so it was a bit of an outlet for me. I could say what I wanted, and I could share what I wanted to a certain extent, because I was this day I'm still a little bit afraid. There are things that I still hold back because